Like, so you did see where Luann's trying to apologize to Carol. She's like, "How do you spell pedophile?"
That was so funny.
It's
And then she had Bethany's
iconic
name
for a
spelled wrong. I'm like,
reason.
how did this bitch write a book?
Speaking of people who somehow wrote a book, even though they have no grasp on the English language, today we are going to be doing a deep dive on Kelly Bensimon of Scary Island fame, maybe even clearing her name in some ways, and to plumb the depths of Kelly's deep, murky mind, we have a newbie to the RHONY franchise. She started from episode 1 because she's a completist. She's also a hilarious comedian and a wonderful friend. Give it up for Pallavi Gunalan.
Hi, I love you guys so much. This is an insane roller coaster the Ramona coaster that we're on.
Oh my God, the Ramona coaster. We're going to have Ramona eyes the whole time.
I can't stop saying in my head, I've just randomly, like, the Kelly Bensimon will just pop up in my head. Like, her name just pops up in my head because it's so, like, musical, you know?
It's also just from hearing your whole youth, noted fashion photographer Gilles Bensimmon from on Top Model.
Yes.
Like, so it's already kind of like a mantra that's been primed.
Wait, is that who she was with? Yes. I don't even know oh my God.
You're about to know everything.
The Avengers. Random people come on the show, obviously, to promote shit, and you're just like, oh my God, this was the 2000s.
So we've got a lot of different perspectives going on. You know, we've got like the new eyes and new perspective of you, Pallavi, and then we've got, we're of course like very studious old guard. Although you do have a connection that is deeper to Real Housewives than any of us, where you did grow up in Utah.
I did grow up in Utah. I went to high school in Salt Lake City. I've been to some of the places that they go to on the show that they try to make.
Temple?
Well, I'm not allowed in. I'm not allowed in. And I think they think my skin tone is the curse of Cain. And there's that. I did go to there's one called Prohibition. There's like a burlesque cabaret event that they had in one episode. I've been there. I've been to some of like the downtown like restaurants or whatever. But next time I go, I really want to go to Heather's like beauty thing and just
Beauty Lab and Laser.
Beauty Lab and Laser.
Right.
That's my temple. That's my Mormon temple.
That's your Mary would have something to say to you about that type of church. So
Lauren's Bachelorette, we're gonna go to Beauty Lab and Laser, and we're gonna go to Mary's temple.
Oh my God, amazing. Party. That's so amazing. I love that. I love when they go, like, literally I brought my boyfriend to Park City because he's come to Utah a couple times and I wanted to show him Park City. He was the only Black person in that town.
Oh my God.
Day and a half we were there. I was like, I'm so sorry. It was pretty rough. And it's more diverse than it ever has been. So,
wow.
Yeah. Wow. It's very Indian now, too, because of like all the tech companies buying up land. And so it's very like Indian, but like and Salt Lake City itself is very queer because all the queers, I think it's the queerest city in the US or like one of the queerest cities. And like, we had like a lesbian mayor. It's because like everybody from the other parts of Utah can't be there if they're queer. So they all come to Salt Lake City and like probably like Idaho and like, you know what I mean? So it's like a safe space.
That's interesting.
Mary being the most fucked up of the housewives in terms of her like family and marriage and not being Mormon, very it's great representation for non-Mormons. Yeah. You know,
Salt Lake City, we're all like this.
We're all just weird.
We're all married to our grandfather.
Yeah.
Emotionally.
Yeah.
Metaphorically.
But it's only because our grandmothers willed it that way.
Yeah.
Literally in the will.
And we feuded with our own moms.
Let's get into the one who was chosen by the producers for some reason, Kelly Bensimon in Scary Island. The segue didn't happen exactly how I wanted to, but here we are.
No, it just took me back to the reunion where they, right after her first season, and they asked all the housewives, like, if they liked the audition, and they were all like, no, it should have been the 5 of us. Yeah. They were like, we don't like that Kelly was here, and Kelly's right there.
Right.
So mean.
Yeah. I mean, that definitely, that's kind of my thesis. So you watched Scary Island.
Yes.
And you were scared, like all of us.
I was concerned.
Like one of the greatest episodes of all time. Yeah. Because of how frightening it is.
Right.
Yeah. It was terrible.
Because, the jump scare when she sees a tote bag with Bethany-centric product.
Oh my God. Right. Yeah. And then she's like calling back.
Calling Jill.
Yeah. That was like,
So
and then what was she eating? She was eating jelly beans.
Gummy bears.
Jelly beans?
Yes.
Jelly beans.
Jelly beans.
Jelly beans, even though she's like, I don't eat sugar. So lots of contradictions. And also she's, I think, the only housewife, like, they've gone on record, she's the only housewife that ever was like evacuated for the safety of herself and others.
Yeah.
So yeah, like that night, the producers, they shut the cameras down and they were like, you can't, we're flying you back.
Yeah.
We're buying you a ticket home immediately. And one escorted her back.
Yeah.
But then,
which makes it even crazier that Jill saw her at the airport and still came.
Showed up. Yeah.
And then in the 100th episode, they interviewed her and she was still like, no, they bullied me. And that's why I didn't have a breakdown. They bullied me. And I was like, oh, no.
You got to save face.
Yeah,
not a breakdown,
but I don't know
a
if she's like
breakthrough.
aware enough
Breakthrough.
to. Yeah, that's true.
Well,
There's a
here's the thing. A lot of people, there's been like a lot of rumors that like, oh, she was on drugs because like Sonia said she smelled cat pee in her house or in her room, which like cat pee, that's like only if you make like meth when you smoke it doesn't smell like cat pee. Any tweakers? Any tweakers in the audience?
Well, let me tell you, Utah also famous for meth houses. Also polygamy houses, meth basements. That's what Utah has.
Oh my gosh. Business in the front, party in the back.
Yeah.
Or bottom.
Business. Which one's the business? Polygamy or meth houses?
Or meth? I don't know. They're both
a little bit of both.
And then a lot of people were like, oh, it was withdrawal resulting in psychosis, like, you know, or like she was having a nervous breakdown. So what I really think, and this is what I did a lot of research to try to support this. I don't think that she was having a nervous breakdown at all. I think that Kelly, much like John Hamm in 30 Rock, she's lived her life in the bubble where she's like a writer only because of like, you know, her famous photographer, like fashion editor of Elle magazine, like husband is like, you know, selling her books. Like she's been so insulated that she actually doesn't know anything and she's never experienced adversity. And so this was the first time she did. And this is also based on she acts exactly like someone, and I told you about this, someone who is doing badly in an improv scene. It's like not like I've seen someone having a breakdown, but this wasn't that. This was someone in an improv scene where like their words are coming out wrong. You can kind of get what they mean, but not really. They keep trying to dig themselves out of bombing. I mean, you are an improviser as well. Do you? Like,
I thought you were going to be like, Pallavi, you've bombed at improv jams all the time. And yes, I have.
Been there.
That's me. That's actually
I just took a Herald workshop and like a lot of the questions are like, what do we do if the other person is psychotic?
Oh my God. See, and they should watch Scary Island.
I know. Like, we're like, go to bed. Go to bed.
Go to bed.
You're crazy.
Like truly that I think that's how I like clocked into it, because that is so UCB, where you're like, if your improv partner is like not doing it right or not making sense, throw them under the bus and be like, you're crazy. I protect the reality of the scene. And that's like really what it was like.
Yeah. It was nuts.
And Bethany even says on her Rewives podcast, she was like, she doesn't think Kelly was on drugs. She just thinks she's someone who had a very sheltered life and like had a really hard time expressing herself, even when dealing with like minor adversity.
Well, I mean, also it's not necessarily minor when you have like Bethany. I love her, like her come up and like a lot of things about her, but she won't stop sometimes. And then like, so there's a pattern of her like going hard and then later being like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. And like, she can't seem to catch herself in the moment.
Relentless.
Yeah.
This is a deep improv cut, but Bethany is like a Matt Besser or a Tina Fey, you know, where it's like, you know, they're really smart, they're good at what they do, but they don't have any patience for fools, and they're gonna just they're relentless, you know, they're gonna bam, bam, bam. So let's get deeper into her psyche. We'll start with some background. She was born in Rockford, Illinois, and became a model in her teens. She graduated.
Already bad recipe.
Already bad, yeah. And like, actually, let me go to the New Yorker story I found on her, or New York Times, because I think it's that's their breakup one. Sorry, give me one sec. I had to like find all these incognito browsers to copy this stuff from New York Times, so we're gonna read some of it. God damn it. Okay, so her father was a successful lawyer and her mother was an interior decorator and clothes horse. She recalled that when she was
and clothes horse?
She was like a fashionista.
Gotcha. A Maxinista.
Yeah.
Like, no, that's Bethany.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Please.
And
Please.
then she recalled that when she was 13, her mom bought her first Alaya suit. Like, an Alaya is, as we know from Clueless, a really important
good.
designer.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Wow.
Paul Rudd would fall in love with her if he saw her in an Elias suit.
And that was in Montreal at Holt Renfrew, which sounds fancy to me.
Yeah.
And then Kelly bought one herself when she was 16 from Mr. Alaya. So it's like she was a model, but also it seems like her parents were very rich
Very
and
wealthy.
connected.
Yeah.
And so she went to Keith School Prep, which has some prestigious alumni. It also has a homeschool program, so I think maybe it was because she was modeling.
She
She
gives
finished.
homeschool vibes.
She seems very
gives only
sheltered
child
because
homeschool vibes.
she doesn't know what's going on in the world. She reminds me of what's Ron Howard's daughter's name?
Bryce Dallas
Howard in The Town. Not The Town.
No, wait.
What is that fucking movie? The M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Oh, The Village.
The Village.
Yeah, she's feeling around, trying to find her way in the world through shapes and textures. Yeah.
She's running through the streets of New York City and she's like, I don't know.
Oh my God, yeah, she jogs in the streets and she's like, people are
Right.
weird. I have always jogged in the streets. This is just what I do.
There's nothing more exhilarating.
Yeah, and still maintains, again, that's the other thing about her is the way she doubles down, where she still maintains to this day, like, it is safer to run in the street.
There's nothing, you know what, girls? There's nothing like it. And it's like, yeah. There is nothing like it. That's why most people don't do it intentionally.
There's nothing. So then she married at 29, noted fashion photographer and creepy guy from Top Model, Gilles Bensimmon, and he was 58.
Yeah.
Every relationship in this franchise makes me sad.
Yeah.
It makes me
I was honestly relieved because
sad.
I thought she was a teen bride. So when I was like, oh, there was only like a 30-year difference, I was like, okay. So
and she was 29. It wasn't like, you know. Yeah.
It just makes me sad. I'm just like
deeply in love.
Were they?
No.
Okay.
They have kids.
They do have kids.
We don't know. We don't know. I mean,
I'm also worried about the kids. Anyways, continue.
Yeah. So actually she was 25. So still old enough to rent a car. And she was his third wife after Elle Macpherson, who I think he did kind of marry as a child bride.
No.
Like Elle was like, but she's like, oh, she did not watch What Happens Live. That was my first husband. I married him when I was like a kid and we're still really good friends.
That's his thing.
It's the fashion world, dude, where it's like it's kind of like comedy where it's like until some of these people, even after they die, like people still don't talk enough shit about Norm Macdonald.
Every young female comedian. Every young female comedian had to date Don Rickles at some point.
No, what? I just want these women to experience like age appropriate balls. Do you know what I mean? Like,
oh, not these women, but these women don't even want that. So
well, fun fact about not age appropriate, but after Carol and Adam broke up, her vegan chef.
We're in the thick of it. He's about to find a new apartment in the season that I'm in.
Yeah,
he dated Elle after that.
I didn't know that.
And he hit on Kelly, and it got picked up in Page 6.
I saw that one. I didn't know about Elle. Elle is, she's like kind of a slutty vegan.
Like she eats meat sometimes?
No, it's just she gets around with every famous
vegan. With all the vegans, yeah. Did she ever date
veganism being a sex club makes sense to me.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, so according to her LinkedIn in 1998, Kelly graduated.
Kelly. What's the picture on her fucking LinkedIn? I can't.
Well, it's actually, to jump ahead a little, she has an incredibly successful real estate career now.
She works at Dudley Sullivan. Yeah. Which is like Frederick's brokerage. Yeah.
Good for her. She's competent in that area?
Yeah.
That makes me so happy.
Yeah, which I think, it stands to my earlier point where it's like she just didn't have any experience and was in a bubble. And now she sold like $90 million in 2018.
Put her on Selling Sunset. Let her have another breakdown.
Yeah. She actually would be great on Selling Sunset.
I think they would be too mean to her. Like, I don't think she's meant for reality TV.
No, she's very much meant for reality TV.
Well, especially Selling Sunset, where it's like, I feel like it is fully scripted. Like,
It's
they're
too
all on
scripted.
book.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
and then he comes in just, trying
yeah.
to improvise. Oh my
Yeah.
God, they
Yeah,
tear
no,
her
she comes
apart.
in and she's dressed normal, but not acting at all normal and doesn't have a Mac laptop and everything goes haywire.
She's just eating
Yeah.
jelly beans in the corner. Chriselle is like, why does she get all the things?
Yeah. And Chriselle's like, I'm just going to complain about something again.
So Kelly, so it's always been like, how did she go to Columbia? Bethany famously said, did she go to Columbia, like the country? So I
Famous
did it.
community joke.
Yes, I did investigate, and she did graduate, but from the alternative student program where it's like a 30% acceptance rate. And I found this, typically inane interview with her where she's like describing like, well, my dad, I always promised him that like I go back to college, and so I said when I do it when I'm 25, so I was like 24 and a half, and I was like, I got to do it. So then I applied, and then I went to the dean and I said, you got to let me in, I'll do anything, you got to let me in. And the dean was like, we have an application process. And I was like, I did my application. And he was like, okay, great. And all my friends were like, how are you doing this with your international modeling and being so busy? And I made it work. I signed up for physics 2 without taking physics 1. And the teacher said, you need to take physics 1 first. Well, I went to the library and I studied physics and I did it and I got it done. I was like, okay, so you bought your degree.
Right.
That's
We love a
wild.
hustling. We love a girl on her grind.
But also,
Yeah.
part of me is like,
we
what
love
if
an
she
educated
is like a
woman.
secret science genius? Because she does have the demeanor for that. Like, I've met some of the ditziest people who
She's
could
very
be professors,
successful.
you know?
Yeah.
She
So I'm
could be a
like,
savant.
I could totally see her
Same.
like acing physics 2 without taking physics 1.
Well, and then, but I do
Like, just
question it being
secretly.
called Physics 1 and Physics 2.
I
And
went
she's a
to a
creative
school that I went to
literature
Caltech
major.
and we'd had physics 1A, physics 1B,
Oh, like-
physics 2. Like we had
Pallavi,
Oh
you're
my
a scientist. You went to Caltech. She went to Columbia Alternative Studies for Creative Literature. Why is
Listen,
she even
get in
taking
where you fit
physics?
in, okay? So she can have that moment 20 years later or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's also that's the kind of BSing like all the housewives do. Like we're doing deep dives on them now, and like nothing they say. They're building their own mythologies. It's just that Kelly, she is not as like aware. She's so
Right.
oblivious that it's so easy to catch her. You catch her while she's saying it because you're
It's
like,
kind of
doesn't make
like
any
Sonia
sense.
levels of delusion. Yeah.
Mhm.
Right. But I think Sonia is a lot of times sort of in on it, and she knows what she's projecting, and she's,
Yes.
she feeds into it, where I feel like Kelly at least like comes up very oblivious to all of it and doesn't understand why people think she
Like she
looks
gets confused
totally
at their
batshit.
reaction. She's like, what? I'm not crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't think she understands.
She's like, I don't know why they're talking to me this way. I don't know why they think this is weird. I don't know why they think that I look insane. Yeah, I think that she doesn't get it.
Yeah. So she is a mother. She and Gilles had 2 kids, Teddy and C. Teddy was born July 2000. Married in 1987. C was born in 1998. I'm like, I feel like they probably had to get married because she was pregnant, but I couldn't find the date on any of it. So maybe they were in love. I don't know. He's just so old.
It's
you
so
know?
hard to know.
I just saw the throwback picture of Elle McPherson with Jill, and it's like a baby.
With Jill Zarin?
No, with whatever his name is, her husband, Gilles Bensimmon, her ex.
Yeah.
It's like so painful.
Yeah.
See, but I think he's kind of sexy there.
But
I gotta say.
he looks like an adult, and she looks like 12. Hold on. I don't know how old they were.
Yeah. The disparity is good, but like for me to date him now, I'm like, without his personality or lecherousness.
You always like older men, even when you were younger. You always liked older men.
That's true. Yeah, I like an old saggy
dong.
balls, old dong.
I like old dong.
I like old dong, and I cannot
Old
lie.
dong, please.
Very
I'll have an
Sonia.
old dong, please.
Yeah. So another cool thing about Kelly. In 2016 People Mom Talk segment, Kelly shared the difficulties of dealing with debilitating postpartum depression symptoms after C was born. She's like, I couldn't drive. I had so much anxiety. I didn't want to be by myself.
Mm-hmm.
And then more bad for Jill. She said, I literally gave birth to a child and my ex-husband just left and went traveling, and I was with this child by myself. I was so young and none of my friends had kids. I was petrified. I loved her so much, but I was literally petrified. So it makes sense why she has a lot of like resentment towards him.
Well, definitely. I mean, fuck him for doing that.
Yeah.
that I
Truly.
just watched the season with Jules and Michael's like just not parenting their kids. And I'm like, so many of these housewives have that issue. It's so sad.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Kristen and Josh is
Oh my God.
my worst ever,
Breaks
my
me.
most
They're
hated
still
guy.
together.
Yeah.
This guy.
It makes me nuts.
He's like, hey,
dude.
you're a piece of shit and I'm married to you, you piece of shit. And she's like, please be nice to me.
Oh my gosh.
No.
Yeah. So painful.
It's proof that negging works, sadly.
Yeah.
That a loser like him can be with like a hot, smart babe like her and have her convinced that she's stupid. I'm like,
yeah,
she's
I
not
never
stupid.
saw her
She's
be
just
stupid once. I never
she
saw her
had
be
to
stupid once.
play into that the whole but I'm not the sharpest
Tool in the shed.
Yeah.
So Kelly's first book was called American Style. And like, even though Kelly was like in these high society circles, kind of everyone was dunking on her all the time, including the New York Times. This was like a backhandedly scathing review. So the book, they say it's mostly random pictures, just intentionally on purpose, she says. And they're mostly Jills's pictures. But Kelly says, it makes me so mad when people say Kelly only uses Jills's pictures. I did it myself. It's how I got Richard Avedon and Dick Cavett pictures. I called them and asked them to use them. Anna Wintour also gave her access to the Vogue archives for the pictures. And then Kelly says,
Insane.
this was on me, whether it's graduating Columbia, American history, or cutting my hair to bi level. I've always been like a sponge.
Wait,
and
so
then
she doesn't have any of her own pictures? Is she a photographer? I thought they said they tried to picture as that at the beginning.
she might just like put in a couple. Yeah.
Alex McCord would question Kelly's photography.
Close your eyes.
skills.
Close your eyes.
Yeah.
Close your eyes.
Because
Take a deep breath. Close your eyes.
Johan face.
Jaw
Johan
down.
face.
Jaw down. Just loosen up.
That was so
Johan face.
crazy how she
Johan
did it.
face.
How
Yeah.
Johan face.
Alex is the only one who could be overpowered by Kelly.
Yeah.
Alex giving full Ramona eyes.
Oh my God, yeah.
Soft like Johan.
And then her next book was the bikini book. That was published a year before her divorce, and it's 700 pages of models in bikini, mostly taken by Jill's. And
It's basically the book It, but in bikinis. 700 pages.
Yes.
Oh my
Terrifying.
God.
How am I going to
God.
get through it?
Yeah. She had a deal with like, probably again through Jill's, with this like place that sold like candles and just stuff for your coffee table books, candles, like sconces and stuff. Yeah.
7 wick, 12 wick.
Yeah, it's just beautiful paperweights, basically. Okay, and here's another scathing New York Times piece about her breakup with Jill's. When Kelly Bensimon puts on her reporter's hat to write a Q&A for glamorous people magazines like Gotham or Hamptons, her favorite question to illuminate the id of her subjects is, if you could be someone, who would it be? But no one ever asked Miss Bensimon. As a jet-set power couple, the Bensimons traveled between the capitals of fashion, between a loft in Soho and a Hamptons spread on Further Lane, overflowing with Hermes beach towels. But news of their recent breakup and Miss Bensimon's subsequent removal as the editor of an Elle spinoff about accessories has been greeted by some colleagues and tabloid columnists with unexpected relish. Their jabs have caught the ambitious heroine, disparaged as a modern-day Becky Sharp. And I looked that up. That's a read. That's the girl from Vanity Fair who was a social climber.
My God.
By surprise.
Wow,
And
the New York Times is so shady.
they are shady. And they also
behind
like
that paywall.
Well, it's like because they are having to interview her for this, right? So it's like, you know, they're having the same experience of Kelly
like,
as
we're
us
all
watching.
on Scary Island.
We're all on Scary Island,
Yes.
but we call the island Manhattan.
She said, mediocrity is not an option for me. Because of my last name, there's this idea that I have to constantly prove myself. I just can't be an editor or do a book. It has to be the best book ever.
Wow.
My
Wow.
God.
Do you know what that okay, that quote, like, I can't just be an editor or do a book. It has to be the best book ever. It kind of reminds me of a Gwyneth Paltrow quote I think about like at least 10 to 17 times a
Put
day.
this in your vagina?
No, it is I can't pretend that I make $30,000 a year.
Oh, yeah.
But I love that.
That
That's
makes
being
sense.
open.
That's yeah. This is
I
like
can't
delusion.
just be an editor or do a book.
Yeah. This is like stolen valor. I mean, really, it's like, I feel like she was stunted as a teenager when she started her modeling career. This
That's
is talking
why
to
we
a
like that.
Emotionally like
16-year-old.
trapped
I mean,
in that
what
age.
do we
It's
what
kind
are
of
we
like,
wanting out of Gigi and Bella? I mean, this is the trajectory. Kelly's the blueprint.
but I feel like
Yeah.
Gigi and Bella like have like a coherent understanding of like political things, or you know what I mean?
Because they have a wonderful mother. Uh-huh.
They have a grasp on language, you
Yeah.
know, like
they speak Dutch and English, and it's important to speak English if you're living in the United States, as we learned from their mother.
Oh, that's what she.
Okay.
Yeah, I forgot.
right. You've watched all of Beverly Hills, right?
Yes, I
Yeah.
have.
The original Almond Mom.
We'll talk about
that later.
lemons.
We had the Yolanda Brandy coming on to meet Kristen and Bethany at lunch on Real
Oh,
Housewives like, a few
God.
seasons ago.
Wow,
Yeah, I was like,
that
oh
was
my gosh, meeting
a
of the mind.
dark. Yeah,
Yes.
yes.
Where Kristen talks about cheating on Josh with an Elvis impersonator.
My
Yeah,
God.
I
like, girl,
fucking
marry him,
loved
marry
that.
Elvis.
I
love
fucking
that shit.
love that she was obsessed with Elvis in a very like very
Like a
relatable
weird-
way. And not that it was Elvis, but to have like this weird like it. I'm like, you're like a nerd, like you're, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you're a human
Yeah.
being.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved it
And you're
too.
married to this bozo who wears fedoras. Like, no, he
Yeah.
sucks.
Ugh.
Ugh.
Okay. Well, on a lighter note, a year ago, Kelly was at a Mark Jacobs show. This is also from the article. And during the wait between the time everyone took their seat and the show began, Miss Bensimon smiled amid a sea of seriously blank stares. Then she lifted up her skirt and flashed everyone for comedy relief.
Wow, she's like a Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah, truly. But I think it's
I
like that kind
love-
of stuff would happen, and she was like, "I'm hilarious. I'm the
in that
funniest
way,
person."
in that
funny.
way,
I
it's
showed you my naughty bits.
in that way, using sexual harassment as a comedic relief is very Aviva's dad.
You gotta
Yes.
you gotta break the ice, honey.
Yeah, I mean,
Show
yeah,
some
maybe she learned
skin.
it from Jill's.
I love the idea that because when she was introduced, she was like, I can't go to everybody's events. Okay. I have to cover things. And she had her like little notepad. She was
Right.
running around to different events and she's like, I don't have
Yeah.
time. I have to cover all these things. And it's like, you need to cover yourself, babe. Like, what are you
Yes.
doing?
And I loved her like a journalist outfit where it's like a black turtleneck and a
Right.
beanie, like she's in
Yeah.
Spy versus Spy, where
Yeah.
she's like, fashion, what's fashion? Like asking,
Yeah.
like, what do you think fashion? What's a trend to people?
Yeah,
And they're like,
so
you don't know what a
good.
trend
What's
is?
trending? Yeah.
So, so then the real gossip. First of all, this article shows that this was a year before their divorce. So they were cheating on each other and separated before that. Bensimon was dating Picasso's granddaughter.
Oh my God.
And
He
then
would.
Kelly was dating the guy who she'd later be arrested for domestic violence against before season 3 started. So they were together a long time. Yeah.
Mhm.
Was that that happened, right? Because like she played it off so like I didn't even have the background info on that.
Well, here's the crazy thing. The girl, as mean as as Bethany, or like as hard on her as Bethany can be, like they all, I think the reason they're so pissed at her is that she was being so, aggressive when they all promised to not bring that up on camera because she was going through. I think that's really always been a Housewives code. Don't bring up legal shit no matter what.
Right.
Because they all like tried to protect her and not bring that up at all because it might have fucked with her, settlement, custody, all of that stuff.
I think things for custody. I think they bring up legal stuff, but like when children are involved, they try to stay out of it.
Right. It's
delicate.
delicate.
So
But we bring it up.
So this
Mention
article
it
also
all.
reveals that Jill's, like, even before they divorced or separated, Jill's had already like bought the apartment, like a different apartment in the building so that he could still like take care of the girls and be close.
That's good.
Yeah.
Right? We like that.
Good dad.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's good that he wants to be a present father.
Dad of the year.
If he's not weird or,
If he's not traveling and dating like Picasso's daughter and great granddaughter.
Yeah, I'm sure he's very like international, so it's like it's good that they lived with their mom. But I think both daughters are still really close to him.
Yeah.
Like they both speak French.
I think they're close to both. Like I think
good.
They're close to both.
parents.
I agree. Yeah.
like, for sure.
So and the Bensimons even then were adjusting. It's amicable, she said. People are very awkward about the situation. People like to assume that everything was handed to me on a silver platter because I'm Jill's wife. Actually, no, that isn't what happened. Actually, no, that's not what happened, Ellen.
Actually, it wasn't. Actually,
it was my parents who handed it to me. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
It was another man. It wasn't my husband. It was my father. Okay.
Actually, it was a silver platter. Actually, that's wrong, Kelly.
It was
It was
platinum.
gold.
It was platinum.
Platinum, baby. So in a memoir, this is like the juiciest. In a memoir of working at Elle and other magazines published last month, Jean Godfrey June,
Oh my
now the beauty editor of Lucky, described a thinly veiled playboy and model wife who treated colleagues with arbitrary coolness. You love Lucky?
No,
gasped.
no.
I know, I was confused.
Jean Godfrey June. That was the boss of a very famous person. in
Oh,
my
was it
world.
Kat Marnell?
Kat Marnell.
Yeah.
Who's
She's
that?
so glamorous.
Oh.
Oh,
She's a-
oh God, we can't even.
Writer.
think-
I mean, she's a fashion.
I
Writer,
really need to
blogger.
start listening to this podcast. I'm so like enthralled and I know none of the names.
First time Kat has come up.
She
Yeah.
was like a late '90s, early aughts, really famous beauty editor, drug addict.
Okay.
Yeah. How to
Yeah.
Murder Your Life, I recommend on
It's called
Kindle.
Chef's Kisses. Yeah.
Really, really fun, quick, traumatic,
Terrifying.
disturbing, relatable read. Okay, so John Godfrey June read her ass and she said about Kelly, along with watching her flock of Jack Russells, getting her coffee and calling in clothes and beauty products galore for her, the Elle staff did an enormous amount for the Playboy's wife. Adam was often called upon to squire her around to social events. The Playboy was unwilling to attend, which I guess is Gilles's name, is the Playboy.
Yeah, the Playboy.
I,
Makes
you know that rumor of like how Ariana Grande has to be carried everywhere.
It's not a rumor. It's true.
Oh my gosh, like Leah Michele not being able to read.
That's
Ariana,
definitely true. That's definitely true.
I read
Okay.
the same thing about Anna Wintour, though, that she has to be carried. Actually, who was the guy from Project Runway? The one who was like, he was the one who said that about Anna.
Tim
Wintour.
Gunn?
Tim Gunn, yeah, he said that.
She has
about
to be
her.
Like
carried
on
around
a-
everywhere.
Yeah.
Like on the
Just
Egyptian
piggyback.
like, carrier? Or piggyback?
No,
like,
I mean,
knapsack?
you just like how I hold
Fireman
my
carry.
daughter. Like I just like pick her up and put her in the car seat and
Anna
put her on her
Wintour's
merry
car
way.
seat has got to be gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's
Tiffany's.
Sauvignon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then after the divorce, Kelly wrote another book called
My God.
The
Can we stop saying
Supermodel
wrote?
Diet. I mean, okay, here's what I'll say about this book. I'll read
She's
it.
a
She
ghostwriter.
scrapbooked, she collaged a book.
I mean, this
Listen.
book, I do think there was a ghostwriter, but I love that the ghostwriter really kept the essential
The
Kelly. Like the book does not
Spirit.
make sense. It is just kind of a collection of Kellyisms.
It's like waking up and remembering a dream.
Waking life.
yes, yeah. Wait,
Was
an
it
excerpt.
Carol's ghostwriter? Was it that person?
Which, by the way, you don't know this, but Carol did have
He
a
has
ghostwriter.
ghostwriter. And now we said it.
This is so fun to tell you stuff that.
What? I thought she
Yeah.
was smart. I thought she was
And now
smart.
She
we
is
said
smart.
it.
She is
Why
smart.
did she
She still
her first book about
She
her
was
dead
grieving.
husband?
She was a widow. She was a widow. She
So
had to have
Aviva
help.
was redeemed?
Yeah.
This is actually what the episode is. It's the redeeming of Eva.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Redeeming all the villains.
Yeah.
Well, Carol was an incredible journalist who won a bunch of Emmys, continued to
right.
work as a journalist when her husband
She
was
did
like
work
dying
for
of
ABC.
cancer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, like such a hard worker, but like she wasn't trained to be a novelist. So like, yeah, she had a ghostwriter help her with that book, and
Yeah.
it said
Jaw
that they said that
on
the
the
first one was
floor.
like a
Right.
mess, but it's because that's not what she does. That's why she doesn't write ever now.
Yeah,
'cause
but
she's
the
not
story,
really a writer.
but the story of her like going,
Yeah,
being
of,
so
like,
furious.
Upset with Aviva. Yeah.
yeah,
I want to throw my leg. Okay, this is
Well,
crazy.
You know what?
yeah. Well,
It's
that's the
iconic,
thing, though.
but you won't be asked back for another season.
It's true.
But that is the thing with
But it made
ghostwriters,
good
though. It's
TV.
like she paid good money. She's a princess who paid good money for that
Yeah.
writer's name to be off the book.
Do we
Like,
know
they
who
had
it
a deal.
is?
It was someone who
Did she kill
Casey
him?
Wilson. Oh my god, maybe
She
now.
had him
Now that it's
killed.
out, she talked to Ghislaine Maxwell, and no,
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Sonia
But-
dated Prince Albert, so I'm sure they got rid of him.
I would.
Right.
Do you think that they did? I don't know if they dated, darling.
Yeah.
Not for longer than.
I'm-
they
a
were.
season. He's an
yes.
awful human being.
yeah,
Allegedly.
Yeah.
yeah.
On a lighter note, so from the supermodel diet, I
The
can make you
super
high. I'm
marvel
talking
diet.
like her now. She's inside of
Super
me.
marble,
Yeah.
you know, super marble. It's
You-
like
you-
when you put a bunch of marbles in your mouth and then you're walking the
jelly
runway.
beans.
Everybody did it.
You're talking with your jelly beans in your mouth.
Okay, so she says, when I was trying to come up with the title for this book, I kept asking myself how I would define what I love. Hot is the word that best describes what I love. It's not
Honey,
a word that I
we've
throw
seen
on
your
lightly.
husband. I don't think so.
Hot is attractive, unique, and first rate. Never mediocre. Avril Lavigne made a video called Hot. There are hot issues of all my favorite magazines. Hotmail.com was given that name to indicate it is the best email service.
Oh my god.
This
Oh,
feels like
God.
talking to someone in LA who like is just an actor and does nothing
can I-
else.
Can I read the next one? I want to read
Yeah.
that one.
Okay, yeah.
Ankles are the new breasts. Leftovers are so dumb.
That
Okay,
part really made me
iconic,
mad.
iconic.
Because Lauren's favorite food is
I
leftovers.
love leftovers.
They're
yeah.
so good.
I
Here's
give
the
Lauren
thing.
my
I don't have to
leftovers.
plan. And that's why they're the
Exactly.
best.
And you
Okay,
know they're there, and
but-
so you get to
But
like
are
anticipate
ankles
them.
the new breasts?
Ankles are the new breasts.
I guess maybe they're the breasts of the feet. No, the toes are the breasts of
You
the feet.
do have
No.
to get an ankle job every 10 years to read.
That's true. Look at my tight, big ankles.
Since I had my daughter, my ankles are so saggy.
Well,
You
She
gotta
ankle
stop letting
fed,
her
right?
feed on them.
Yes.
My daughter was like, she destroyed my ankles.
Yeah.
I want to have
She had,
children, but I don't want my ankles to be ruined.
You know what? It's worth it.
So then Kelly was arrested and charged with misdemeanor a few years later for, striking her man candy boyfriend. This is from page 6. Oh, no, Nicholas Stefanov, who she dated
God.
after. Okay, so it wasn't
Wait,
the
so
same guy she was dating
She had
before.
2 arrests for.
No,
or
no,
this was-
sorry. Ronald Perlman, you see him on the show, but Nicholas Stefanov was a different boyfriend. That's who she was
That
he
was
had a
and that was
laceration.
the one that,
That
she
was
got
the
the
one
only one. Okay.
for right before
Yeah.
season 3. She came on season 2 as a friend of, and then season 3 full time after she had the DV, because they were like, well, now we've really got something. here.
Yeah.
We got to bring
And
her
all
on
of the
full time.
best RHONY housewives have been arrested.
True.
It's true. I'm eating
and then-
Tinsley right now.
Oh,
Yeah. Great mugshot. One of the best
love it.
mugshots. Okay, and then a Reddit quote I found that goes against my point, and all of this research is mostly from Reddit, by
From
the way, so no
Reddit.
one get mad at me. She said, I went to school with her daughter. We used to be close friends. She's just as crazy in real life. She kicked me out of her house on a Saturday night when I was 14 because her daughter didn't finish her homework.
Listen, that's valid. The
That's
kid
like,
needs to-
that's like something like a European, like my friend's
I
Polish
know.
mom would do that.
Yeah, like,
it's
hey,
midnight on a Saturday. We've got to go to church. Like,
yeah, like
it's
my
just,
kid needs to finish their homework. You're distracting them. It's time to go.
I'm hoping she had a
Saturday
ride
night.
home or something because she, you know what I mean?
I think she
I don't think
did
she sent her on a subway.
That's bad. That's really
Yeah.
bad. Where does she
true. Yeah,
live? Does she
listen.
live in like out like in New York or like
Manhattan.
Soho.
in Manhattan?
Yeah, Soho.
Is-
Yeah.
I guess but on a night? No. Listen,
Yeah,
that is
it's
not
weird.
very Indian of her, okay? And I'm speaking
Yeah.
from my experience. If she was also, that's not very Utah Mormon of her. If they were Mormon, they would have made them sleep over and forced them to go to church the next day, which is what my
Oh my
friends
God.
did.
That was
And then
the,
I would
yeah.
go to the
Oh my god.
Sunday
yeah.
school and I would ask too many questions and then the teacher would get mad
I
at
hate
me
that.
and
I
they'd be
would not
like,
do that.
we covered the celestial kingdoms last week. And I was like, well, I'm not Mormon. And they'd be like, what the fuck are you doing here?
No, I was never gonna. No, I can't do that. I would
I
never do the sleepover going to church.
It wouldn't like
Okay.
let me leave. I was like, what if my parents pick me
It's
up before
it's called a walk-in.
Yeah.
They
Don't
walk you
Let
in.
me- I don't want to. I can't be locked in.
My parents wouldn't let me do sleepovers until my brain was strong enough to reject the brainwashing. So like when I was like in elementary school, I couldn't, because they were like, I don't know about these white people. They were right.
Well, exactly.
They were
We all
right.
still
Also,
feel
the food
same
was
about
never as
them.
good as at home. I'm sorry.
No.
Mormon food.
Mormon
like dirty
food.
soda.
Green
and-
Jello, like it's a
Jello,
whole thing.
weird
Funeral
potatoes,
potatoes, yeah.
funeral potatoes.
Fry
that's
sauce was
really
good, but you know, I mean,
'Cause it can't have caffeine.
I came from
it
an
can't have
Indian
chocolate.
household. There was not going to be as much seasoning as at home. Like, it just wasn't
Right.
going to
Yeah.
happen. But
yeah.
anyways, Kelly Bensimon kicking a 14-year-old out.
Right. And then also someone else's mom worked from Reddit, worked with her. She worked at a school where the daughters went, and she was like, my mom never talks shit about anyone. She hates gossip. She was like, but with Kelly, she was like, I do not like that woman. She's a
Right.
nightmare. So I think that maybe there is some, especially after like the divorce and then the being a famous crazy person on reality TV, there is definitely some volatility, perhaps,
Wait.
some personality disorder stuff in the
Are
mix.
you not? have you been defending her? Lauren, was that your original take? Because an improv person who is bad is not indefensible.
That's true. I mean, okay.
I do want to murder them.
That's true. I mean, I have a lot more hate for someone who is derailing an improv scene but continues to talk as if the more they talk, like they're going to talk themselves out of it and won't let anyone else talk than I do towards Kelly.
She is more flighty. She'll get out of there.
Yeah. She's just, a broken bird. I guess my thing is like, I just don't think she was on drugs that night. Do I think she was on drugs, period? Maybe. But that night, no.
I think she was on drugs. Yeah, I don't think she was on drugs. I think she...
In the words of Sonia, listen, we're all making fun of her, and she's not okay.
That's so true.
Kelly recently made headlines again because she was married to this financier named Scott Littner, and then 4 days before the ceremony, she called it off.
Yeah, she was engaged and called it off. Yeah.
When was
she
that?
Was like a runaway bride. This was June? July.
Like this year.
July last year. Yeah.
Very
Put her back on. Put her back on the show. Is she on?
She was briefly on Ultimate Girls Trip 4. The New York
and they
Legacy
tried making
trip.
her look crazy again.
Which
and she was actually valid. She did look crazy.
But it was this. That's another part of my proof. It's the same as before, where it's like she's not. It's not that she's insane. Obviously not. She sold $90 million of real estate. It's just she sucks at performing and freaks out, and she sucks at arguing, communicating.
Here's the thing. We're not going to say that because you sold $90 million, you're not crazy. They're not mutually exclusive.
Well, but I'm saying she's competent, like they're inside her is a competent.
You can be competent at one thing and then insane, like in how you communicate or in certain situations, you know what I mean? So like, I feel like maybe she's channeling her competency towards the real estate, but like she finally found a key that fit, and then everything else is just like a haze,
Right. And like she is like acting weird, like where she's like taking calls like in the pool while like someone will be talking and she'll be like, "Sorry, I have to do business calls," and they're like, "We're filming."
Wait, also
or, like just like leave like where we're filming and like go to another part of this like mansion that we're in, and she's like, "You don't understand what it's like to be a working woman."
Yeah, no, like we're working right now.
We're working Bethany. Right now.
Also, me being...
Last thing about Kelly, last time she was in the news is she was getting read to filth because also on Ultimate Girls Trip, she was like, "My husband didn't give me anything. I'm self-made. Right. But then it's like, we know from the show, he gave you the apartment, he gave you the house in the Hamptons, he gave you all of these opportunities in writing that you squandered, alimony, like he gave you plenty, but that doesn't take away your accomplishments now. She just can't talk at all." And speaking of her not being able to talk at all, I think to get some further answers, it would be good to go deep into the work, into the transcripts of the greatest episode of all time, Scary Island, and do a little staged read.
I love it.
So I did a quick cutting because Michele and I previously staged this. We did 40 pages of Scary Island, lost the audience entirely. We're only going to go like 10 or so in. So casting, does anyone have like one or two roles they're dying to play?
You can be Kelly.
Okay.
Yeah. Kelly's the fun one, yeah. And then that way you can really put yourself in her shoes and you can give us the answer.
And what if I'm like Austin, whatever his face, and I can't ever stop the accent after playing Elvis?
Austin Butler, Kelly,
yeah.
I'm just like,
well, do Kelly as Elvis. Do Kelly as Elvis. Listen, Kelvis.
Okay, so then I guess I'll be Sonia.
I can do Ramona and Bethany.
Okay, cool. Okay, yes, I'll also read stage directions, and I tried to cut Alex out because no one cares about Alex, but if I missed a part, I'll be her. Okay.
Johan face.
Okay. Exterior. Scary Island patio.
I mean, listen, I have an 18th century chandelier on a pulley. I have a very eclectic sense of taste.
Why is that? Bethany returns to the table.
Are you okay?
I'm fine.
She's fine. Look at her. She's cool as a cucumber.
I'm like worried about you.
I'm sure you are.
I actually am.
Cool as a cucumber.
Well, dinner parties are an effort. I feel the love.
It's just, you're pregnant and this is so much effort.
Happy mouth. I have a happy mouth, Bethany. Oh, good. I have happy mouth.
This is a 5-star piece of meat and sauce and presentation. Come on. I happen to know. I had a 5-star chef on my boat. I happen to know.
Excuse me.
I know. This is amazing. What, Cal?
We know about the past.
Okay, I have some experience. That's all I'm saying.
You were giving a reference point.
We know.
What am I, not allowed to like the food, I guess?
No, you are allowed to like the food. I want you to like this food today.
In restaurants.
I didn't know this.
Were you a hooker? No, I'm just kidding.
No!
Kelly sniffs her hair angrily. The real hookers are the people that want to come there and see the famous people.
So I've been busy this trip. I really haven't listened to any of the messages. Well, I thought I'd hear from Jill to tell you the truth.
Wait,
You haven't heard-
pause. Okay, first of all, I just want to say, Kelly is the first person to call out Sonia is living in the past. Like,
She
isn't
is?
that correct? She lives in the
Wow,
past.
that's so
People
true.
call it out in many seasons. So, okay, time in, continue.
You haven't heard from her since we've been here? No, I think she'd say, sorry, I can't be here. Are you having a good time? Something.
Dessert is served. Did anyone else hear from her? Kelly raises her hands. I don't think I did.
I did. The only thing that Jill keeps asking me is if Bethany as well. She's worried about Bethany.
So what? She's not here.
You asked me and I'm telling you the facts. I'll give you the facts. You want the facts? Those are the facts.
Who cares? She's thinking about herself, always very stupid.
I'm sorry, Ramona. This isn't about you.
Say this is about me.
She's asking about Bethany. She's asking me about you. This is not a forum.
If you yell louder, it doesn't mean you're right. No one is attacking you.
I'm not saying she's attacking me. I'm not acknowledging that. I'm saying...
You just said it's not
I'm
her.
saying she's asking about you, and I'm saying she's well.
There you go. Just talk. There you go. You can have it.
There's no conversation. Welcome to Bethany's world of how people like are asking about. This is like white noise. You guys are all like white noise.
Don't say anything.
Stop saying that.
White noise.
No.
If we're white noise, then you'll be white noise too.
Great. Let me just text.
Ramona sticks her finger in the air.
Okay, I have something important to say.
I don't care.
You need a freaking timeout.
Time out. I want you to spit.
You know what?
No, guess what? This is about Ramona.
You know what? I have something really important to say to her. If you don't want to listen,
Are you going to apologize for crying or for making her cry?
No, this is about Ramona.
you know what? What do you know about anything?
You told me everything. You told me that you made her cry.
You're really pushing it now.
Hey.
Okay, Sonia,
You made Bethany cry.
Sonia, can you take her away?
Use her anymore.
Okay, Bethany, you and I have to go somewhere. Come here. I gotta talk to you.
You guys go into an intimate moment.
Ramona and Bethany get up from the table.
Yeah, we're gonna kiss.
Okay, with the tongue.
See ya.
That's what you do.
That's what I do. I wish. I can't even use you anymore.
Oh my God. This is Free to Be You and Me, 1979. I was having nightmares. I threw up. But I threw up the night before I came thinking that Bethany was gonna freaking kill me. Because she's tried to kill me so many times before. Kelly crosses herself.
Oh yeah, Kelly crosses herself, sorry. It's hard to follow this conversation. Bethany and Ramona return to the table.
The night of Ramona's true renewal party.
What does that have to do with real life?
Just zip it.
Just stop it with a zip it.
Like encyclopedia, it's time.
For Cocoa Puffs.
Because Alex did something that was really inappropriate. It was a little weird. And she was like,
Bethany stands up from table.
Sorry. Okay, timeout.
okay, bye-bye. We love you. Good night.
Good. I'm taking a timeout too.
You're leaving me? I have to sit here and support this?
We're just taking a minute timeout.
You guys are leaving me to do this? That's not fair.
But it's a witch hunt. They're like a witch hunt. It's for Hades in here.
Sonia puts her head in her hands. You did a beautiful thing in the beach today, and you wiped it out with your comments, which you don't mean. I don't think you're mean. I think you're very defensive. You don't mean it. You got crazy.
What did I do today with Alex? I wiped off her makeup.
Right?
Because it's fucking scary.
Ellie you told Bethany was going to kill you in your sleep with a butter knife? What are you talking about? You are like getting weird.
I'm not weird.
Yes, you are.
When you have a woman go after you in the press every single day
Yes, I can see
and
that.
try to defame.
If that's true, I don't have evidence, but if that's true.
Oh, she went after my little girl.
Are you sure it was her?
Who else would it freaking be?
Kelly tries to sob. Kelly, if you have evidence and you have proof.
You want me to sit here with her and she calls you a freaking hooker?
Well, I thought that was funny.
I didn't.
She didn't really mean I'm a hooker. Do you get it? She doesn't really think I'm a hooker. Bethany, Ramona, and Alex enter. I cannot say I've ever experienced that. I've been in the post and ridiculed, and I just take it. A disembodied hand refills Ramona's wine. She takes a sip.
But I just want to tell you what this truth is.
What is the truth? I want to hear the truth.
Be quiet.
I want to hear the truth. You can't handle the truth. I'm the one on trial here. I want the truth.
Oh my God. Al Sharpton. Al Sharpton. No, put your hair up. It's Al Sharpton.
Of evidence.
This is a really lovely evening and I had a really lovely time. If you excuse me, I'm going to excuse myself like an adult and I'll come back and I'll have shots later.
No, you won't, because you say you're going to do shots and you don't.
Do whatever I want. I'm a woman and I had a prerogative thing.
Kelly leans over the table and glares at Bethany.
What about when you attacked Gwyneth? My friend Gwyneth?
Who's Gwyneth?
Tro, and what about Rachel?
Bethany's a comedian.
Really? I'm out. You guys, thank you so much. It was lovely. This is over.
What a nutbag.
Kelly runs wailing barefoot through the halls of the Scary Island mansion.
Anybody want a jelly bean or a lollipop?
Kelly, I'm coming. I need to talk to you.
Can we just calm down and stop with all of this, like, bullshit?
Something happened where she thinks that you did something evil.
It doesn't matter. The food was delicious yourself.
Sonia mimes the cuckoo motion. I'm feeling sorry for Kelly.
Exactly.
Because something's happening here.
She feels sorry for you because she thinks you're crazy.
This is awesome.
Because she thinks something's wrong with you.
I do.
Like you're absolutely crazy.
Okay, I'm crazy.
Something's happening here. We all think you need to get help. There's something really wrong with you.
Because I don't like you.
That's not an illness.
Stop, Kelly, please.
Your dad passed away and you're like, here, it's creepy.
Why is that creepy?
It's freaking creepy.
Listen, we all agree she needs to get help.
In a way, as soon as my mother passed away, my mother died on a Friday.
Don't ever tell anybody that, Ramona.
Just to pause, I mean, she's not wrong there either. Brag about that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fine, but like, it's
My
not
mother
brag.
died.
Ramona
I was
inserting
out on a
herself
Saturday.
is amazing.
It was in Palm Beach.
Okay, well, we've got to get to the big line. Okay,
Yeah.
the four of us are actually sane and she's crazy, and now we're like picking on her.
Okay, let's stop.
She has a problem.
Like you're trying to kill me every night and I threw up.
She's paranoid.
The night before I came because I don't want to be part of this.
Sleep! Go sleep! You're crazy!
Kelly wrinkles her nose and tucks her chin like she's smelling the devil's fart. No, don't be mean to her, does cuckoo clock motion. Kelly chews a gummy bear.
I did not place any press about you. We're not after you.
I listen, but I don't like the chatter. In my defense, that's what makes people crazy about me because I listen, but I just don't like the nonsense.
Things for everyone. Good things for everyone. Good things for everyone.
They all clink glasses.
Good things for everyone. Thank you so much.
And scene. Wow.
Wow.
Wow. I loved your take on
Wow.
that.
Wow. That was crazy. Ramona is 100% just about herself. She could be in a scene by herself.
Friday.
She's like, happy mouth. What the fuck?
Happy mouth.
Oh my God. Ramona drives me nuts.
So now, like, looking back, how did you feel playing Kelly? What did you tap into?
I feel like Kelly has a little bit of a Kanye factor where she's like,
Yes.
I'm not, listen, you're all crazy. I'm not playing the game, but also I'm kind of crazy, you know?
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like she does have kind of like what's it called where you're, fuck you, authority.
Yeah. Rebellion.
Defiance. Yeah, like a
Defiance.
kind of like defiant disorder, but then also like she can't not say what's on her mind all the time.
Yeah, she's like,
too.
Sonia's
She
living on her
cannot-
past.
Right.
Bethany's trying to kill me. I hear what you guys are saying. I don't like it. And does anybody want a lollipop?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, like it's like a
Right.
whole range of emotion.
And she's like in the whole time she's like in this beautiful like long like flowing
She
satin
looks like
gown.
a ghost of the island.
Right.
Yes.
She looks like she's haunting the halls.
Yes,
running
especially
around.
when she does the running, where
Yeah.
it's like she's doing such like a hunchback back and forth, like scuttle running.
Well, she's
It's
not
so
running in
funny.
the street, so she doesn't know how to have good posture.
That's true. Yeah,
She only knows how to do that when cars are chasing her.
right. It's this kind of running is more dangerous when
Yeah.
it's not in the street. I also like looking back on like just the episodes leading up to this season. I think it's so clear that Jill sent Kelly on an agenda
Yeah.
to don't let them talk shit about me ever. And whenever they talk shit about Jill, Kelly doesn't know how to defuse, so she just goes,
Yeah, like a little kid going like.
She goes back and reports on the phone. She's like, Bethany's like crazy. Like, you know what I mean? Like she doesn't have her support there.
Right.
Yeah.
And Jill's like, what are you talking about?
Jill was
Yeah.
nuts. Jill totally
Yeah.
killed her own career. That's crazy.
She did, dude. And then like the fact that so then like clearly she knows she fucked up that season by like because Bethany's sympathetic now. She's pregnant, her dad died. So she tells Kelly all of this dirt about Bethany.
Yeah.
And then sends Kelly in there as a sleeper agent
because
to try to like make Bethany
do it.
vulnerable. Yeah. And then like so then Jill can swoop in, and then the like plan totally backfires, obviously. And Jill's like, and now for part 2 of the plan, I show up and I'm the good guy.
Super nuts.
Yeah. Everyone's having a panic attack while getting pedicures.
Yeah. But all this to be said, I think Kelly is normal mostly. Like compared to other housewives, she's like on the same end of the spectrum of crazy.
Right.
She doesn't have an agenda.
She
doesn't have an agenda. And a lot of the other housewives are like manipulative and devious, and Kelly's just a little off kilter, you know?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
She's just eating her jelly beans and running into traffic, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
But there is.
Yeah, I would argue she does have an agenda, but she can't hide it or express it.
And by the way, she was right about Bethany. Bethany is not a chef.
She is a cook.
She's barely a cook if you look at her TikTok.
Really? She's not?
Yeah.
Oh
She's not a chef, a natural food chef. Suck my dick, okay? It's not. Kelly was right, and everybody else was wrong.
She did end up like Paul Newman with the salad dressings.
Yeah.
She was right about Sonia. She was right about Ramona making everything about herself. And she was right a little bit about Bethany. I think Jill told her like a lot of stuff about Bethany's family, and Kelly like did not know how to. She kind of really tried to jump in there, and then she went back, and then she went forward.
Right about Alex needing to just shut up and calm down.
Well, she
tried to calm her down. Yeah.
And Alex didn't look good in those photographs she was trying to take.
And she did need to make Johan face.
She needed to make Johan face. So every time when we do family pictures with my daughter Ruby, I say Johan face.
Johan face.
And she knows what that means.
Also, I think that Kelly, she's like the reason for one of my favorite scenes ever, other than this, which is, she's not even in it. It's when Alex and Bethany are talking and they're like actually forming a friendship. And they're like, Kelly earlier, and Alex goes, what was that?
Yeah. I'll start cracking up.
What was that?
And that's what we all did here today. We go, what was that?
And that's the name of the episode.
Yes. What was that? Okay, so it's the end of the episode, and at the end of every episode, we have something called our oral exams. Ooh. It's like a 1-minute essay on a pop culture topic of your choice that starts with, in this essay, I will. So I'll have me and Michele will do one first, and then you can do yours. Okay, great. All right. So Michele Baber, are you ready?
Let's do it.
All right. This is your oral exam. Your time starts now.
In this essay, I will prove that I don't know what I did on TikTok to deserve all of these Nikki Blonsky TikToks that I keep getting, but wow. Wow, Bethany, wow, have I missed her in part of the zeitgeist. I guess she did a cameo while she had a kidney infection and kind of looked a little jaundiced, but it was a very funny cameo. But now I'm just seeing all of these interviews that she did when she was promoting Hairspray, and I completely forgot that she used to pretend that her and Zac Efron were a couple, and they actually like made out on TRL. It was very strange. She also went on the Wendy Williams show. Wendy Williams is like, Vanessa Hudgens and Zac Efron, like, do you think they're ever going to get back together and get married? And Nikki Blonsky's like, no, honey, I love Zac Efron and he loves me back. And so sorry, Vanessa, but it's over for you. And I just love the fact that now she sells shoes right outside of New York City. And that's her job now. So hi, Nikki.
That's wild.
I'm a Nikki fan.
But also, didn't she like beat someone up at the airport?
Oh, wait, yeah, I heard about something.
Was that her?
I thought that's how she like fell off.
I would like to put in a retraction.
Was it Vanessa Hudgens she beat up?
It was another celebrity, I think.
No way.
She beat somebody up?
Oh,
yeah.
But she's like my size.
She's 4'10". There was airport brawl left me destroyed.
Was she
ex-top model contestant Bianca Golden?
She fought a
It all goes back to
Fighting
Gilles
involved the
Bensimon.
family of Bianca Bolden.
What the fuck did Nikki do?
She
She
fought
was
a family?
19. She fought like, hold on. Blonsky family was waiting to fly home from a
Good
vacation,
morning,
Turks and
Baltimore. I
Caicos.
don't think
She says
so.
that the Golden
Okay.
family, including Bianca, her mother Elaine, and her brother George, grew angry when some passengers were saving seats. She asked Bianca not to point her finger in her face. That's when she stood up, pulled her arm all the way back, and said, "Fuck you, you white bitch." And she closed her fist and punched me.
Okay, you know,
Golden,
Okay,
whose mother
okay.
Elaine had to be airlifted to a hospital for her injuries, gave a very different account, telling Tyra Banks that Nikki kicked her mother in the groin and that Carl punched her mom in the face. Absolute lies, says Nikki. They all face assault charges. This was from People magazine from 2008. Wow.
Okay, because she also did an interview talking about Zac Efron going to rehab, and she almost cried.
Oh, that's
Where were
sad.
the cameras when this happened? I'm so upset that no one
Tyra.
filmed this.
Why is it not on my TikTok feed? I just keep getting interviews with her and Wendy Williams.
No idea.
Anyway, she made out with Zac Efron on TRL.
That's like, I think, one of the craziest things I've ever heard that a celebrity did while not really like fucked up out of their mind on drugs or alcohol.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nuts.
She like sells shoes now and does cameos for $20.
That's actually a really good deal. I'm
I
gonna get
know,
one
I
for
think
my
I-
sister. I'm gonna have her
No,
sing
you're
"You Can't
getting that
Stop
for-
the Beat."
You're gonna get one for your birthday.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Something to look forward to. Okay, this is Lauren Davis's oral exam, and my time starts now. In this essay, I will prove I am laughing at all of you guys who are scandalized by White Lotus. I'm not going to spoil anything, but so many people are like, wow, this season is really going too far. I thought that this was a fun comedy mystery show. The true Mike Whiteheads know that this guy is a freak, and when he set the show in Thailand, there was definitely going to be some gross old white guys doing some real dirty sex tourism shit. And so, of course, it was going to get freak nasty. Have you ever seen Chuck and Buck? That's some disturbing stuff. I will spoil that one. It's about a guy who has like a still erotic fixation on like a kid who, when they were kids, they had like a crazy sexual love affair as children, and he's still in love with them. And then the guy has a family, spoiler alert, but then is still in love with Chuck all this time. I mean, that's some wild shit. This White Lotus, nothing you haven't seen on Game of
Nothing.
Thrones. Get
I
over
haven't
it.
seen it yet. I haven't seen last night's episode yet.
Yeah, I didn't spoil. I was very careful. I did spoil Chuck and Buck.
Yeah,
oh,
well,
that's
I-
the
I
spoil I
wanna-
was worried about.
No, Chuck and I'll fuck Buck.
Yep.
Amazing. That is
Okay.
wild. I haven't caught up on White Lotus yet. I'm like in my Severance phase right now. I need to focus all my attention on that. And then once
I
I
get
get
it.
past the goats, then I can get to White
I
Lotus.
still need to watch
Ugh,
Severance
the goats.
from Friday. I haven't watched that.
Oh my
either.
god, so good. Very, very, very action-packed moving episode. It
Or
moves
did
along
I
really
watch
quickly.
that? Because was it the episode before? I was like, what's going on?
The
It's all
episode
different.
before was Cobell, and then this one is other stuff.
I love the Cobell one. I love Cobell.
Okay,
Ugh.
here's
I love
oh,
her.
you know what? This could be
Why?
my in
I
this
wanted
essay.
to, I
I
wanted to
will.
ether myself.
Oh, sweet.
Oh.
Okay. This is Pallavi Gunalan's final exam starting now.
In this essay, I will describe how Patricia Arquette, who plays Cobell in Severance, does not get enough media coverage for being fucking hot, okay? Everybody's talking about Mark S. and Gemma and Helly. Meanwhile, Cobell is serving ice cold looks anywhere in the scenes, like on the severed floors, off the severed floors. This bitch is hot, and people are not talking enough about Patricia Arquette, okay? She's been like serving and severancing for decades. Like, people need to give her, they're not talking about how, I'm like, are you lost in Adam Scott's jawline now that he has a beard? Like, you know what I mean? Nobody is talking about how hot this bitch is, and she is so fucking hot, and she's been hot. She's been that girl. That's my essay.
She's been that
Big time.
girl.
I totally
No,
agree. And
agree.
also, I think Adam Scott, I mean, he's a hot guy, but I think he looks
He's
so
hot.
weird in that wig they put him in for
Oh
Severance.
yeah, when they gave
Yeah.
him the hair, I think they gave him the haircut to reveal the, you know what I mean? They like made him
Yeah.
look weird because he's supposed to be this like, hey, like I'm a dorky guy, you know, like in the severed
Yeah.
floor.
Yeah, I don't know. I always just and I really and Adam Scott's amazing
Yeah.
in Severance for sure, but I just always think of Party Down whenever I see him.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he was so hot in Party Down.
Oh, he was so him and Lizzie Kaplan, like
Ugh.
that was some real chemistry. I think they had real chemistry.
Yeah.
But I can't. Okay, I will always think of this is bad, but Patricia Arquette, I will always think of Medium, which will always make me think of the dinner party from hell on Beverly
Mhm.
Hills and the
Oh.
vaping and the he will never
and
emotionally.
Oh my
that's
God,
why
yeah.
and that's why you're always aroused by her.
Yeah.
Because you always
100%.
think of
Yeah.
the most
He will never
arousing,
emotionally
stimulating.
Grammars.
kill you.
Know that.
Know that. Know that.
This was so fun. We have to bring you back for like a deep dive on one of the Beverly Hills girls, and then we can do a stage reading of the dinner party.
One of the
from
good
hell.
ones, not any of the bitches running around today.
Maybe Alison Dubois herself.
Yeah, because she's actually the best that's ever been on the show.
Alison
Yeah.
Dubois
Her and
is
Cedric.
the
We need to do a deep dive on Cedric.
Yeah.
oh my
Cedric.
God, I forgot. Wow.
Cedric the Entertainer.
Yeah.
I was a little boy in Friends.
The king of housewives, king of comedian housewives.
Right. The king of the pool boy comedians.
Yes, yes. The king of the 5 o'clock shadow.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming, Pallavi. So you have an Instagram,
I do,
which is
Pallavi Gunalan, PALLAVIGUNALAN. Thank you.
and a TikTok.
all the same, except on Blue Sky, I got the Pallavi handle. I'm like,
Oh hell yeah!
We just got a Blue Sky.
hell yeah,
We got one today.
hell yeah,
got a Blue
yeah.
Sky.
So everywhere,
I've not been on there.
it's fun. It's like, okay, Twitter is now Nazis. Blue Sky
Right.
is white liberal. So I'm trying to find where old
Mhm.
Twitter could be. I'm like, can Blue Sky be the new old? Like, I think people were trying to do that,
I think people will go
but
on
it's
there.
still
'cause
there's
I don't think
'cause
Threads ever
Twitter had
worked.
Black Twitter and like Scottish Twitter and like these
Right.
very like
Yeah.
niche groups that made it more interesting. Like Brazilian Twitter stands, amazing.
Yeah.
You know, so
Right.
fun. But you know, Blue Sky's not. Maybe I'm in the wrong circle. Somebody on Blue Sky direct me to where I can find this nostalgia. You know,
Yeah. I mean, I think that
it's
is
so
the good
new.
part of the thing is that you can like do those follow lists that are because I want one that's just gay. That's where I need to
Yeah.
go.
Just
Gay.
gay,
Gay, and
Gay,
then follow,
gay.
follow,
And this
follow.
is what Lauren thinks gay is.
Gay.
gay. It's like
Gay.
reverse
Because there's a
Italian.
twist.
The reverse Italian. That's also very Indian,
Gay.
actually.
The-
Gay.
what is
That's like what
straight?
you're. That's what like
Is
Indian
it
parents
straight?
do when they're like, "Are you gay? Is that why you're not married? What is it?"
That was me minority reporting
Yeah.
on my screen. Pulling.
Yeah.
That's very
You do your own
improv is
stunts.
minority
Yeah,
report.
you do your own stunts like Tom Cruise does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Enhance, zoom in. Okay. Well, I'm sweating my ass off.
I'm scary islanding.
At the end, we always flash Pallavi if you want to be part of
Okay,
that.
yeah, I love the Kelly moment.
Yeah, we all
It's
all
funny. I did
so
it because
you
it's
need to-
funny. I did it because I was
And we
being
and we
really-
It was so
totally
funny.
vindicated her. She's
Yeah.
in defense of Moaned.
Yes, Kelly redeemed.
Um,
Thanks again.
you guys are trying to kill me every night in my dreams. You guys are killing me. Bravo breakdowns is killing me. Okay, you guys are
With
just smiling.
laughs.
With love.
With laughs.